Actually looking at is with the head, whether it's tilted one direction or another direction, or sometimes it's just actually pulled over here too, okay? So those are the areas you're actually looking at. The shoulder, sometimes the shoulder might be a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Usually the higher shoulder sometimes actually means it's more contracted in the in the traps, also the levator scapular region, especially if their head is more like this too. It's more contracted in that region, so you're going to have to stretch that area out a lot. Also, sometimes the shoulders is more internally rotated like this, so the pec region is more contracted, and the rhomboid region, the antagonist muscle, the opposite muscle group, is actually too stretched out. So you don't have to stretch here, but do a lot of stretching and bringing it back as much as you can. Also, another one you want to look at is the abdominal region. Sometimes they may be tilted over a little bit, and if you see any dents at all, sometimes there's more contraction in that region too, so you're going to have to do a lot of stretching in those regions. And sometimes the hips might be rotated out or in different directions, so look at that too then, whenever you're performing posture evaluation. Next one, you can look at the hands. So the thing is that the hands are more like this. That means their shoulders are definitely more internally rotated. If their palms are facing out like this, more anatomical position, and this area is too stretched out in a way, and the rhomboid region back here is actually more contracted. So you do a lot more stretching here, and this is actually too stretched out, so you can just do some massage in this region. Then you can also look at the muscle tone, so you can see if one side is a little bit bigger than the other one, or so you can see if there's a little bit more tone, so you can even feel those areas too. So a little bit more built up in this region here, more like you the right hand dominant too. Also look at the quads in this region. Look at the patellas and see if they're lined up. So let's say this one is out like this. This area might be more rotated out, so a lot of rotation. So the piriformis region, the gluteus maximus, the TFL region is rotating out. So you might see this more in runners. Or you might have it rotated inwards and with the knee like this, okay? You can also, with the feet, look at the feet. So one foot might be out a little bit more, so it's helping stabilize, so it's rotated out. Or sometimes the knee is totally straight, but the lower foot is actually rotated out. So just be aware of that then too. You can also test with the arches. You can just feel underneath the arches, see if you notice a difference that way, and see how they're supporting themselves with the toes. And also, again, look at if there's more gap one way than the other way. And in a way you can actually test the difference between the hip to hip. Is just use your thumbs and just look directly on all bony areas of the body. And just match it up and see if you can see any difference, if it's aligned different than that way. Okay, let's do a side version. Okay, and face that way. So you can actually see if one arm is in front of the other one a little bit more. You can also see if the arm's more back like this. So that means more of the rhomboid's more contracted this way if it's bringing it back this way. But also if it's more rotated like this, the shoulders are more rotated inwards. And sometimes from side to side, it may be a little bit different. You can also look at the curve in the neck, so they should have a little curve in the cervical region, but sometimes it's straight. So when it's straight, more likely they've had problems in the past, accidents, you name it. So we have to have a little curve there. Then also, if you want to look at one's foot is actually in front of the other. So sometimes they're helping support that way. And you can actually look at their knees too if they're having problems with their knees. So sometimes they might be more back-kneed. Especially gymnasts, you see that a lot more, but it kind of bows backwards. So there's weakness in those regions there. Then you can also look at the low back area, see if you want a little bit of curve in the lumbar region. But sometimes people's back is just totally straight, and then more likely definitely have back problems then. Okay, next one, you can face the wall. Just bring your hair over here. Okay, next one, you can actually look at the shoulders, see if one was higher than the other. Also the low back region. Again, if there's any area that's more contracted, like this, you can see a little bit difference, more contracted in that region. Also, you can just look at the muscle tone from one side of the next. And sometimes their scapula, stick this out a little bit. Okay, there you go. Sometimes you can notice that way too, so it's more rotated inwards, so the scapula is sticking out a little bit in that region. Also, you can look at the gap in between the arms, definitely, between the legs too. So the thing is that the arm is out a little bit more like this, it's more likely okay, but sometimes it's so close to the body like this, so it's protecting. So they're more likely to have problems in the past then. Okay? You can also do the thumb like this, all different areas, the bony landmarks of the body. So the suboccipital region, also the shoulder region, the hip region, the gluteal fold region, the popliteal region. You can just go over all those areas and just see if they have problems then. Thank you very much.